The Business Computing Weekly podcast is made possible by GFI Software, America's leading provider of network security and email protection tools designed for the small to mid-sized business, and by frugalbrothers.com, the #1 place to purchase GFI software. It's time for Business Computing Weekly, episode number 393, and it's recorded on March the 24th, 2013. And how's everybody doing today? I've got our co-host, Mr. Jack Mclain of McLean's Computers. And Jack, you got a thunderstorm going on, huh?
Yeah, I hope it's clearing off a little bit. It's not as bad as it was about an hour ago, but yeah, we're getting some pretty bad thunderstorms through here.
Well, the weather has gone totally wacky. It is. We're supposed to get somewhere between 5 to 9 inches of snow here on March the 24th. Now, a year ago at this time, it was like in the 80s here in Indiana.
It was 78 degrees here last week, and tomorrow it's supposed to be snow with a high of about 30. So
78 last week? That's amazing.
78 degrees last week.
That is that's amazing.
It snowed this week, so.
Right. Well, I'm Bruce Naylor, your business guy, the business guy. And, we do a lot of talking about productivity applications on the show. We are devoted to helping you, the small business owner or the IT professional, the people that, make their living with their computer one way or another. That's who our show is for. And so we always try to go out and take a look and see what's good out there, maybe what's not so good out there. And we've done a lot of shows devoted to Office 365. We've done a show talking about Google Apps, but there are alternatives out there. And tonight, this episode of the show, I thought we would talk about a company called Zoho. Now, several years ago, I did a review of an application called Zoho CRM. And that's gotten a lot of views on YouTube because CRM is like real important to a company that's doing sales, managing your customers and contacts and all that thing. And but it's time to revisit Zoho as a viable alternative to Microsoft Office 365 and Google Apps. And I shared, I got the show notes over to you on this thing, Jack. I don't know if you're familiar with Zoho or not. Have you ever looked at it or done anything with it?
I did. I did a little research on it a while back. It's been well over a year. But, it didn't, at the time, it didn't really impress me or it didn't really stand out to me. And now I'm looking over their website, and I'm kind of impressed by what I see so far.
There's a whole lot to Zoho. Now, I will say,
it doesn't even look like the same company anymore to me.
No, they've done a lot of work on it. I will say that I spent quite a bit of time researching this stuff before from preparation of today's program, and the website is good, but I felt it was a bit convoluted and a little difficult to navigate. I think they try to do a good job because they've got so much to offer, but trying to find some of the pricing, for example, and what they charge you for and what they don't. But we're not going to go into all that today, but I just thought we would highlight some of the major things on that. I'm going to go ahead and bring up on the screen, and I'm going to bring this on up here. This is so they say there's over 7 million users of Zoho online, and that I have no doubt. And what they do is they break and it's software as a service, folks. That's what it is. And they break it down in 3 different categories, and they break it down into collaboration applications. They break it down into business applications and then productivity applications. So let's start with, I think, the package of software that would come closest to, say, Google Apps or Office 365, and that is Zoho Mail. And Zoho Mail basically lets you host your own email domain, just like you with Google Apps or Office 365. They have a control panel. You can set up user groups within there. They've got migration tools to help you migrate from your own internal, say, Exchange server. I think some from other services as well to get over into Zoho Mail. You can set up email policies. They have search. They use folders and labels. See, now with here's the thing. A lot of people, and I'll bring this up. Jack, I'll get you up here on the screen for this shot. A lot of people, one of their big beefs about when they move from Outlook and Exchange to Gmail is that whole labels thing. They don't have folders. Where's my folder? They don't get the labels thing. And so I think that's a good idea, is to make that transition a little simpler for people, to offer them that folder capability. Also, going back into this thing, let's take a look at, they also, with the mail, when you sign up for mail, you get the instant chat application. So that would be the equivalent, I guess, of Link with Microsoft, or Google Talk, or Google Chat with Google Apps. Calendar, tasks, and notes. And then, of course, you can have multiple email accounts. Now, that begs the question, when we bring this up, what does this cost? Now, with Gmail, with Google Apps, for example, is $5 a month per user, or $50 a year. Here you can see that they've got 3 different plans on the mail, what they call a light version, which is free. Basically, you host one domain, you can manage up to 3 groups, you get 5 gigs of mail storage. That's free. There's no cost to that. Most people would opt for the standard, which is 15 gigs of storage, or I'm sorry, the standard 15 gig for $3.50 a month, or $36 per year per user.
Where are you seeing that at? Because I'm seeing something different.
Okay.
What I'm seeing is the personal, the standard, and the premium.
Yeah, so let me just go back here. Go to, on the mail side, where it says Zoho Mail. Mm-hmm. Under Home, Features, Pricing.
Okay, I lost it. Hold on just a second.
Click the pricing, and that'll bring it right up. Do you see that?
Yeah, apparently I'm seeing something different than you are, though.
The link is also in the show notes.
What I'm seeing here is where it says standard, and it's $3 per month per user. 10 workspaces and 2 gigs.
Yeah, you're not looking at the Zoho Mail.
Okay, I'm looking at something different here.
Yeah, you're looking at different, because they've got a lot of products.
They really do. I'm all over the place here. Like you said, the website is not especially easy to navigate here. No,
it's that was kind of one of my I won't say complain about their website, but I do understand. But see, there's like overlap in these kind of things, because you can get some of these products in a different suite of apps.
Right.
So it takes to get a little bit used to when you're trying to price this thing out. But with the mail, this is going to be the closest thing to Google Apps. What it doesn't include is Google, like Drive for storage or documents.
Okay, I'm with you now. I'm on the same page.
Yeah, so you don't get documents. Okay, like spreadsheets, the word processor, sites, or anything like that. This is just going to be email, calendar, tasks, Google Calendar, and this is another thing. They've kind of got this hybrid thing going where some of the Zoho applications, quite a number of them, synchronize in one fashion or another with Google Apps. So you could have Google Apps, but still use some of these Zoho applications. Now, well, I think it gets really interesting is when we start looking at the productivity applications. But moving on to that, okay, that's going to be on a different tab. We'll bring this back up. Bring this shot back up. This is the FAQ section of the mail, and basically set up, if you want to move over this, is going to, and I think it works pretty much the same on all the cloud-based services, and that is essentially moving your MX records to the configured ones for Zoho. and then doing a migration of your existing email on in. And so, of course, you would create your users and that kind of thing. And they actually tell you all the different steps that are involved, including the MX record, for the mail is right on there, and how to do that. And they also offer what they call a 99.99% uptime guarantee. So that's real strong. And of course, we've already talked about these uptime guarantees. Remember, if there is a failure of any substantial time, you're not going to get any kind of monetary compensation other than a credit towards your monthly bill on these. This is how these guys work. But you can also create distribution lists in Mail. There is I believe, a plug-in for Outlook as well as available with that. It'll work, and they do offer mobile phone or phone support for BlackBerry, iPhone, Android devices. So that's all available. So this is the building block of Zoho. So getting back to the basics, we said it was what, $3.60 a month per user. Is that what we came up with? Was the price? Right. $3.50 a month per user. $36 per user per year. That's not bad. And you get 15 gigs of mail storage. Now Google Apps is going to offer you 25 gigs for that $5 a month. Okay. And then Microsoft's also going to offer you $25, and they've got plans, and their pricing plans are kind of all over the map with Microsoft. But essentially, you can get into Office 365 for right around $6 a month per user and get the mail, calendar, notes, tasks, and that kind of thing. But what you're not going to get with Zoho is you're not going to get, as I said, the word processor, the spreadsheet, sites. You're not going to get any of those things with it. This is more scaled down, all right? So I think that's kind of, it's not bad. It's not bad at all, really, what they're charging for it. But let's go ahead and talk about, and hopefully I'm going to I don't want to get ahead of my show notes. And, yes. So I guess the first thing that we need to do is talk about Zoho Docs then. So if you want the more of the productivity applications, then you're going to want to take a look at the Zoho Docs. Now, what is Zoho Docs? That's going to be a word processor, a spreadsheet, a presentation program, file sharing, and task management. Okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and bring these up on the screen. Yeah.
It's a really nice look to the applications. I really like the way they look. I'm not sure they just don't look as full-featured as, say, a Microsoft Word or a Microsoft Office suite. It just doesn't look quite as full-featured.
Well,
looks kind of basic to me.
Yeah, well, if you take a look, it's not fair, though, Jack, I think, because if you look at Google Docs, it's very Spartan compared to Office.
Oh, yeah. That may just be I think that's the kind of the wave of the future, if you will. I think most companies are going to that. They're going to the very minimalistic style of doing things. It just depends on what you want to do. I guess if you wanted to really drill down, I would have to play around with this. But I guess if you wanted to drill down, it probably offers far more than it looks like it does.
Well, I think that a lot of times there's a lot of features in, say, Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint that people don't use.
Right.
Okay. Right. And I think that the argument is if we give people what 80% of the people are going to be using all the time and make that really accessible, then we've done pretty well.
I agree. I think that was kind of the reasoning behind Microsoft Office going to the ribbon interface. Mm-hmm. It's because they said that a lot of the features that were available in Microsoft Office, most people never actually seen it because you had to drill down through menu after menu to actually get to the features. And that's why they said they came up with the ribbon interface, so a lot of these features would be right in your face.
Well, and I tell you, I have used the Writer application from Zoho before, and it's basically, in my opinion, just as good, if not better, than the word processor built into Google Apps. And it has more features. For example, There is an equation editor built in. There is, of course, you can do offline editing, but you have your ruler and tab stops. They got custom styles. Here's a big one right here, mail merge. Now, I don't know what it is about Google. Why you've actually got to go install a stupid script and do it in the Spreadsheet program to do a kind of a mail merge. It's kind of nutty that they don't have this capability to build in to the word processor of Google Apps, but it is built right in here. And I know for a fact that I make extensive use out of mail merge, and I know a lot of places use mail merge. Like if you want to send out a personalized letter, let's say your church or business or whatever, you want to send out, the monthly newsletter via mail, regular mail, whatever you want to do, a mail merge, and you can't do that in Google Apps really very, very easily, but you can here, and it's part of it. Is part of it. So let's also kind of move on here, and we're going to now take a look at the Spreadsheet program. And right here it goes over the features, and there's a ton of features. And again, it's got all the main things that most people would use. Again, real-time collaboration, auto-filter, which is cool, built-in charts, conditional formatting, looks good.
You can record macros, I see.
Yeah, yes, try that. Not as easy in the Google Spreadsheet application, but yes, you can record macros, publish your spreadsheets to the web internally, everyone to do. This is huge right here, the ability to do a pivot table. This thing, their spreadsheet is very, very powerful.
Everybody I know who is really into Excel or who has to use Excel, they're really big into macros. I've had several customers when going from one machine to another, they're really adamant about make sure my macros get transferred over. I can't live without them, and they have their custom scripts that they can't live without. So this in itself is a nice little feature.
Well, a lot of companies will spend a great deal of money in creating macros and stuff for their business and having their spreadsheets all customized and all that for it. And that makes moving to the cloud rather painful if they can't at least recreate those macros in a cloud-based application, and they're right here under the Google Spreadsheet application. So
I wonder if you could actually import macros from your Microsoft Office into Zoho.
No, I don't believe you can. I think you would have to kind of recreate those. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I don't think I am on that point. And then let's go ahead and then move on then to the next application, which is presentation. So these are bundles. So you buy Zoho Docs, and these are the things that you're getting with it. So there's your presentation program. In all honesty, I've only looked at presentations briefly, but it is it's going to be very, very similar to the presentation software in Google Apps. I'm going to go ahead and bring up secure file sharing. And so secure file sharing basically, what's a way to compare that to? Well, just like you got SharePoint, for example. I'm going to go ahead. You got SharePoint with Office 365, and you can share a document with a group or an individual, and you can do that in a very secure fashion. And you can do that same thing in Google Apps, and this would be the Zoho's equivalent of that. And you can share with groups privately. You can create an online workspace, again, much like SharePoint. You were going to say something on there, Jack?
No, I was looking at the interface here. I really like how they got it set up. It's very very simplified. Everything's right there where you need it to be.
Well, Zoho, I think if it's powered by a database, they have an application for it. It's really, really, and I'm telling you, these are great apps. In fact, some of them are much more powerful, in my opinion, than what you're going to get with either the Microsoft web-based applications or the Google-based web applications. And of course, you also, let me get back over here, you also have tasks. Now, tasks are also included, I believe, if you get the Zoho Mail for your domain. Okay, you do get tasks with that. But if you get Docs, then you can also have access to tasks as well. And one thing about both, one thing about Google Apps is I think their task management is very, very weak. Is really, really weak. It's good with Office 365 with the integration of tasks in Exchange and Outlook, but it's really pretty horrible on Google Apps. Zoho has a really, really nice task application to it where you can assign documents to other people, review them. Again, this is some of the functionality that would be baked in to, say, SharePoint. So you're getting some of that SharePoint functionality with the secure sharing and tasks right in here. And then you can do things like add estimated completion time of the task, add descriptions. And, as they call it, smart and simple document managed solution. Okay, so for that. And we're just going to go ahead and skip over this right here. Let's go into the pricing, because let's get into the meat and potatoes of that. So right here you see $3 per user per month for the standard edition. There is a personal edition, which is free with 1 gig of workspace. But, most people are going to fall in that $3 to $5 per month per user thing. So, we're already, if we get the mail component, got the wrong shot up here. If we get the mail component, we're at $3.50 a month. But to get all the functionality of Google Apps, we're going to have to add another $3 a month. So we're at $6.50 a month. And that gives us the 15 gigabytes of mail storage. It gives us the calendar tasks. It gives us the documents with presentations, spreadsheets, secure file sharing, all that, the presentation tool, user management, roles, all that sort of thing. Now, here's what I wanted to point out in the Zoho's website. To get more information, you need to click on this little link that says Plan Details when you go to the pricing site. Mm-hmm. And by the way, no credit card is required to sign up for the trial. And then you can kind of see what you get with the premium version for $5 a month, which is 5 gigs of storage, and you get extra 5 gig for $3. And then they got the checklist on down here, 15-day free trials. What you obviously don't get in the personal is more about branding and user management. You also don't get email in and so forth. Now, again, there is some. I'll bring you back up on. There we go. Bring you back up on the screen, Jack. One of the questions that comes up in mind. Okay, will this synchronize and work with Google Apps? If I don't want to use, in other words, if I want to stick with Google Apps, say for email, but I want to use Zoho Writer, let's say, can I do that? Can Zoho talk to Gmail? Will that work? The answer is yes. There is a tool to synchronize your contacts, calendar, and so forth with Zoho in the paid editions. And I understand that it's not available in the free editions, but you can have this hybrid solution that's part Google Apps and part Zoho, which is kind of cool. But go ahead.
It would be interesting to see how well they work together in the real world.
Well, we're going to actually bring some user comments up from the Google Apps Marketplace here in a few minutes and kind of give that a little bit of coverage. Okay. But so now, so we're at $6.50 a month for that, and then let's see, coming along, and right here, just to answer your question, this is there we go. We'll bring this up. This is the official line on Zoho Docs for Google Apps right here. So you can create, for example, if you're using Zoho Docs, then you can access them in your Google Apps with your Google Apps credentials. You can upload files and documents from Google Docs into Zoho Docs, collaborate, get feedback, and share workspace, create, manage tasks on documents, organize documents into multi-level folders, share documents securely, and control access to shared docs. So Zoho Docs will synchronize with Google Apps, as I understand it, not the free edition. Mm-hmm. That ain't going to work. But with the paid version, then I think you're kind of golden on that. I think it's kind of cool. And so I've actually used these products before. Okay, so I'm not a stranger to. So when I used it, I mainly used the CRM module, Zoho CRM, and I think that is probably their strongest business or productivity application that they're well known for is Zoho CRM. The synchronization with Google wasn't very good at that time.
How long has that been?
It's been a couple. Gosh, I want to say 2 years ago. It might even been longer. So I would imagine it's gotten much better at this point.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I remember taking a look at this product maybe, like you said, about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and it didn't look anything like this.
No,
it's a completely different thing now.
Yeah, well, Zoho is, and there's been a number of people said, they think, boy, they've wanted Google Apps, for example, to have a CRM application. Google come up with a CRM application for Google Apps users because that's just such a critical piece of software. And Google's made it pretty clear that they're not going to do their own thing. They've kind of teamed up a lot with Salesforce, but I got to tell you, there's also been people say, you know what, Google, you should buy Zoho to get the CRM component. Tweak it up a little bit, make it more Googleized, if you will, and then use that.
Honestly, from what I'm seeing here, they don't need to do anything with the interface. In fact, Google would be better just to keep this interface if they went to, if they bought out Zoho, just keep the Zoho interface and put a dedicated CRM into it.
Yeah, that could be. Let's go ahead and then.
I like the interface better than I do the Google interface, honestly.
Well, now we're going to take a look at the business apps. Now, here's the thing. And this is where Zoho really, I think, goes the extra mile because they have created a ton of standalone applications, okay, that a lot of businesses can use. And depending on what you do, for example, if you're doing remote support, they have an application called Assist, and you can buy this, and I'll just bring up Assist on here. Right there it is, remote support, and basically it's their version of TeamViewer, I guess. Okay, and if you look into the pricing of it, and you have to look around, there's the pricing for that. For the professional versions, $12 per month. That's an unlimited number of sessions, so forth. You can get a free version, 5 sessions per month, at 2 hours per session. We've talked about you getting something like this, Jack.
Well, I'm looking at the features for the free version here.
Yeah, you get live chat, you get a desktop plug-in, instant control switching, secure file transfer. So it looks like you can do just about anything. Now, obviously, if your business isn't doing tech support, okay, this isn't going to be any use to you. But I think it's a pretty good, not a bad deal whatsoever. Books is their accounting application. I'm not familiar that much with Books, other than we'll just kind of quickly go into it. And we'll go into the pricing of their accounting program. It's $24 per month, and that's for 2 users. That's for 2 users, and then $5 a month each after. It does all the normal things that you would expect an accounting application to do, including taking credit cards, unlimited invoicing, receiving online payments, expense tracking, recording and tracking bills from vendors, bank reconciliation, time tracking. I do not believe that it supports payroll. I don't know if there's, we can maybe look at some add-ins if there's a payroll module. It is Safe Harbor compliant, which is big, especially in the European Union. Again, you can get this without paying hang on a second here, Jack. I'm just going to tweak your audio just a second. There we go. So these are all, I think, pretty good things you would expect in an accounting package, and so it really is $12 a month for 2 users each, or $24 for the 2, depending on how you look at it. Now, you were telling me, Jack, that you kind of do all your accounting on the Excel.
I let my wife handle that end of it. I prefer not to deal with it. Honestly, I mean, it comes down to this. I do the I do the work. I fix the computers. I do the work people need me to do, and I don't really need to be, the work plus the accounting plus everything else. It's just a little too much for one person to handle, in my opinion, and get everything done the way it needs to be done. So I pass that off to. I have an accountant friend that looks over all the paperwork when it's all said and done, and gives the okay on it. And I let my wife take care of most of the taxes and things like that, because I just don't have time to do what I need to do and do that end of it at the same time. So.
No, I got that.
Did you see the invoice software?
Yeah, I did see the invoice software, and that's very, very cool, because that might be something of use to you.
That's what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah. Well, and you might take a look at a combination of things like Assist, Invoice, and perhaps even Live Desk. Did you look at Live Desk yet?
I haven't yet. I was looking at the pricing on the Zoho Invoice. The standard is $15 a month, and it's 500 customers and 3 users. Unlimited invoice and estimates. And
then if we'll go into Invoice here, I'll go ahead and pull this up on the screen so people on YouTube can see that in the video. I'll bring up Invoice. There we go. Come on. Hassle-free invoicing. And so that's what FreshBooks built their business around initially, was on invoicing. Mm-hmm. And there is a free version, 5 customers, 1 user, unlimited invoices and estimates for 5 customers.
I think the standard would be what most people would be after.
I think so. Because I think you can do invoicing through books as well. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can do your invoicing through there, but if you just want a custom invoice application, then you may want to take a look at the standard version of the invoice application. Again, you're going to look what it does: accept online payments. We'll go ahead and scroll down. Bring that up here. Here's some of the features right here. That's huge, by the way, taking online payments, because that's how most of us are doing business now. Or a lot of us are doing business that way. Branding invoices, track expenses, right. Create templates. You got customer support, reoccurring. This is also another big one right here, and that's your reoccurring invoices right here. Because we sell software now on an annual subscription, and we can set up reoccurring invoices now that 90 days prior to that subscription running out, we can just shoot out an invoice, and I think that's really good.
What was the other product you said I should take a look at?
Let's go back on here. I want let's see. We'll go back. Live Desk.
Live Desk. Okay.
Support your customers in real time.
Let me check that out.
Okay. And so we'll just kind of go into Live Desk right here and take a look at it. And basically, wherever they are, wherever you are, chat. So this is a chat situation. Like you can have, if you had a help desk somewhere, your users could contact you via this, and you could generate, as I understand it, you'd be able to generate tickets and get them into the system and start getting them support right through here and access other support tools. So you can elevate your customers right there, get feedback, the availability to rate an agent, support agent, click to chat to answers. Right there you can have canned messages. Apparently there's some support, automated support things that they can use as well. That's already baked in right in there. Share and receive files.
I like the free version they have a free version on here. It's actually up to 10 chats a day with the free version.
Yeah, we'll pull up the pricing right here. Yep, unlimited. So you can have unlimited agents.
Unlimited agents. Yep, up to 10 chats a day.
And you can have this embedded in your website with up to 10 chats a day, 30-day visitor history, basic, and then again $19 a month for the basic, $50 a month for the professional. Are you seeing a pattern here? What they're doing? because I'm seeing a definite pattern, and that is they're offering all this stuff that's a la carte.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't want mail, if I don't want any of that stuff, but I would like to have, say the accounting program, the invoicing program, and maybe Live Desk, I could do that.
I think that's a good model, actually. I like the a la carte style of doing things a lot better than just, here's a bunch of things that you'll probably never use, but we're going to cram it down your throat anyway, and you're going to pay for it style.
Well, and you believe me, you get stuff like that when you buy you buy suites.
I mean, let's look at Office 365, for instance. How many people utilize every feature in Office 365? Most people won't.
No, I mean, I don't use Link. I have it, but I don't use it.
Right, and it's that way for most things, or for most people anyway. I'd say very few people or very few companies actually use every feature that's available in whatever suite they happen to be using at the time. And I really like this, that you can pick and choose exactly what you want and kind of give yourself a customized package just for what you need it to do.
Exactly. A few other applications, then we'll wrap up talking about the Zoho CRM, and that is Recruit. It is what the name says. If you're looking to recruit new employees, that's an application you would use. Site 24/7. Now, what is that? Site 24/7 is a application that monitors your websites, does server monitoring for your clients. So MSPs, managed service providers, would be able to use Site 24/7 to make sure that critical systems, services, and all that kind of thing are running. You could use that as well. Now, I wanted to actually talk about, I'm going to go into this, maybe a little bit more detail, and that is Zoho CRM. I kind of thought we'd wrap up our talk about Zoho with that. And Zoho CRM does work with Google Apps. It does integrate with that, with contacts, mail, documents, etc. All works in that. Now, they've made some real substantial changes to this thing. Number one, there's a very active community out there that work with this. Okay, I'm going to bottom line in the very beginning, I guess, with Zoho CRM. In my opinion, there are 3 major cloud-based CRM systems out there. Well, I'll say 4. Okay, all 4. Salesforce, Microsoft CRM, Sugar CRM and its variants, and Zoho CRM. Okay? Those are the 4 that you really should look at when you're looking for a Salesforce automation tool. And for most people, Salesforce is a non-starter due to the price. We're talking, to get full functionality out of it, you're talking like $90 a month per user. That's just way out of the budget of most of us out there. Unless you're a pretty significant enterprise, you're not. It's just not there. I happen to use Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and the reason that I do, and the reason that I haven't used Zoho, because at the time that I reviewed and made that purchase decision, Zoho did not support what we call drip marketing, and that was the ability to send out emails in a time-based schedule. They didn't really have that capability at the time, and what we call automated workflows. They didn't have those things at that time. Zoho now does, in fact, offer these in some versions and in some fashion. So we're going to go into the pricing right now. Here we go. And this is the pricing that you see right here. Now, if you're a Google Apps customer or not, you can get 3 users can start out with a free account. All right, but it's kind of limited. It's a robust, and you can do a lot with the free version, but it doesn't. You're not going to get the workflows and the drip marketing and all that with it. Okay, you're really going to. Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
I was just going to say, I think the professional is going to appeal to most people here.
Actually, I'm going to say It's going to be. I would recommend the enterprise version over the professional version. Okay, and because we can go right over the plan details.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
We'll bring that up. So,
you know what? I think you're right. Looking at the plan details here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right. It looks like the enterprise is going to be better.
The enterprise is, the enterprise is going to hold a whole lot more data. It's also going to have a lot more workflows now, because like workflow rules. Okay, a workflow. Boy, my English is terrible. my tongue just went sideways right into that left molar, and boom, that was all she wrote.
Don't worry about it. I'm from Tennessee, so my English.
I know, but when your tongue jackknives right. Okay, we'll try that. We'll try this again. I'll give you an example of a workflow. A workflow could be something as basic as when you get a new lead. So I get a new lead. I want to assign that lead to a sales representative based on the lead zip code. Okay? We want that process automated. So when maybe we buy a list. We got a list from a trade show or whatever. Now we get those into the computer, and we want that to be automated. We could run that workflow. Okay? And then we can say in the workflow that the sales representative is to call that lead within 1 day. Okay? And then we could add to that. That would be a workflow. Okay? Another workflow would be, let's say we do a web capture. Okay? Somebody visitors on our website, they fill out a form. Okay? Then that gets imported into Zoho CRM, and we want a welcome email to go out automatically. Okay, thanking them for filling the form and letting them know that a representative will be in contact shortly with information. That could be a workflow. So you see, you can have only 10 of those with the standard edition, 30 with the enterprise, and zip with the free ones.
Right.
Okay, that to me is worth that. Workflow tasks, again, workflow tasks. Another thing is, if a field gets updated one way, it can change automatically the value at another field in the system. So you have workflow field updates. So if somebody completed a call, then that would maybe update another field in the database. Mm-hmm. Okay, or if you didn't complete a call in the prescribed time, maybe a manager would get an alert. All right, that's kind of the thing. Webhooks, pulse follow-ups, case escalation, because in Zoho CRM, guess what? This thing has got some accounts, opportunities. It integrates with LinkedIn. Well, of course, when I looked at Zoho, they didn't have all the social in there, and social is really big now. To know what your prospects and your customers are doing on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc.
Everything has to be integrated.
You almost got to be like you're all-knowing, man. It's almost kind of scary.
Yeah, it is.
That's
the future. That's where everything's heading.
Yeah, and mass email, that's another thing. If you want to do a direct email campaign, I'll tell you right now, if you're looking, and this is something that drives me nuts about people, Jack, is they want to do email blasts out of their contact database. And I'll say to them, okay, you want to do a direct email campaign? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I do. And I'll say, do you have a way to remove the people that want to be removed automatically so there's no chance of error? Well, no, we were just going to, put it in a spreadsheet or whatever. Look, use something like MailChimp, for example, and with the mailing list service to do or there's constant contact. There's a number of parties out there to do your email campaigns. Don't do it on your own. Mm-hmm. Okay, even if you have your own email list server, just don't. do not use these kind of applications to spam people and send out unsolicited emails. It's simply not worth it to get your domain blacklisted, and that gets ugly. In fact, what they do is they limit you to 250 emails a day.
I think you'd end up getting the opposite result of what you're trying to do if you tried to do that.
Well, I kind of think with email marketing, and I do email marketing, I think that you have to be very careful with it, number one. And number two, the thing about email is that we're more focused on that next email coming in than the one below it, and so on and so on. And we lose visibility very, very quickly. Well, maybe we'll do a show talking about email marketing sometime, because I think it's an important thing to discuss. But I would not use it. Autoresponders is huge, and we talked about autoresponders. Cases. Here's another thing: customer support. See, so with the Zoho CRM, you could do tech support with Zoho CRM. So that's built in. So you may not even need one of the other applications if you have the CRM. Okay, you can also do invoices. You can do quotes, invoices, and that kind of thing with Zoho CRM. So what I'm saying here is you may not even need some of these other things if you go with the CRM solution. I would actually demo that first before.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the pricing here on that and let's see. $12 per user per month on the professional. Enterprise is $25 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, 25. I'm going to have to go back and I'll look at the other services and kind of add them up and see if they total or exceed this $25 a month. But
and maybe you could get by with the $12 because you can always upgrade if it's not working for you.
Right. Well, just to try it out, that's probably what I would do.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that if you did nothing else, and I do like Microsoft Dynamics CRM, okay? I definitely like it. I think this is a strong contender, folks. I really do. I think Zoho CRM is a strong contender. There are plugins, and this is something else I want to share with you. You better look carefully here because this is kind of buried down here at the bottom of the pricing, but you can get a plugin for Zoho Mail or Google Mail, Gmail, and that's $3 more per month. So you probably have to get that. If you want a plug-in for Outlook, in other words, you get an email from a client and you want that to go into your CRM system, you'll want a way to get that into the CRM system. There is a plug-in for Outlook, and this is just the Windows version, not the Mac. There's no plugins for Mac Office. There's a plug-in for Microsoft Office, which was $3 a month. I don't know if that's an addition. In other words, Outlook is the plug-in. You have to have a separate plug-in for Outlook and then another plug-in for like Word, Excel is probably what that is. There is a plug-in for QuickBooks, $25 a month if you want the QuickBooks plug-in. And then Zoho Phone Bridge for call centers, $6 a month, and that allows people to sit there and make calls through they can live in Zoho, in other words, and they can use Zoho to make calls and that kind of thing out of there. So I think that's kind of interesting on there. Okay, now let's go ahead and bring us up on there. You know what I do for a switcher, by the way, for video switching the shots is I use a utility called Wirecast Toolbox, and it allows me to use my numeric keyboard, number pad on my keyboard to switch shots. I just 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And it's very, very cool. In fact, you can get a wireless USB. I'm going to get a wireless numeric keyboard for changing the shots and keep it to the left of me rather than switching. That'd be cool. I'm a nut for that kind of stuff.
True geek.
Yeah, I well, listen. I love The Big Bang Theory. Don't know if you watch it, Jack, or not.
No, I haven't seen it, but you can never have too many gadgets. Or
Okay, well, look, you would love, I guarantee you will love Big Bang Theory. I got to tell you, you're going to love, because it's about these three nerds that they hang out together. Just watch it. Do me a favor, watch an episode of Big Bang Theory, and you will laugh till your sides hurt. Because you'll be able to identify. I know I will be. They're into comic books and Halo. They've got laptop, it's hilarious. I'm surprised you've never watched it.
Never have.
Oh, you'll love it. Maybe not much for TV, but Big Bang Theory is worth it. Okay, the CRM. What else can we say about this thing?
Try it out. That's what I'd say about it. Give it a shot.
You can absolutely demo it free of charge. They do not require an upfront credit card. That's cool. If you have Google Apps, it's very easy to add it to your Google Apps environment through the Google Apps Marketplace. That I'm very familiar with because I have done that actually several times. I still have a free account set up on here. I never pulled the plug, or never pulled the trigger, I should say, to go with Zoho CRM, simply because, as I said, folks, I didn't at the time have the ability to do the automated workflows like I can now. You can also do, and we'll get into a few more features before we start wrapping things up here. You can also, it has what's called Mail Magnet. Mail Magnet allows you to reduce clutter and focus only on what matters. Keep your customers' email inside of CRM. And that is, the theory is you don't want your salespeople to have to go to 3 or 4 different sources to get information. You want that one container right there where they can read their notes, history, emails all in one spot. There is a mail merge that allows you to do merge documents, and use standardized templates there, including creating an email merge as well. And of course, you have the document library, which could hook in with the Zoho Docs, your social, and in order to complete the thing, you're going to have the availability to download a client for iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry. All that is baked in. And there's a video, if you go to their website, that talks about CRM for Google applications. I'm not gonna play that right at the moment, but let's see if I can. I've told this thing to capture audio. Let's see if we get audio. I'm gonna go ahead and play this. Here we go. We'll see if that plays. And
whether you're running a business or managing sales, you would have a hard time. The tools you use and the information you manage are in different places. Those days are over. The integration of Zoho and Google Apps will help you make smooth deals by keeping the tools, information, and people under one roof. Google offers web apps like email, calendar, documents, and more. Zoho offers web apps for business too. As a Google user, you can now access Zoho services from Google's universal navigation using your existing Google Apps credentials. With the combination of Zoho and Google Apps, every time you send an email to your prospect or customer from Gmail, you can see it in Zoho CRM. Besides, you can also input your contacts from Google into Zoho CRM instantly and keep a complete record of all your business communication inside Zoho CRM. You can even access your files from Google Docs inside Zoho and attach them to tasks and projects. Zoho Project makes it easy for you to collaborate and communicate with clients and project members. You can now eliminate hundreds of emails per project, and everyone you work with can be on the same version of the project. You can also
I think we get the idea on this thing anyway, right from that. There we go. Let me bring that shot back up. That is kind of an overview of Zoho CRM. So there's, I guess the bottom line this thing for you. Number one, this is a valid alternative to Google Apps and Office 365. They offer a really diverse set of productivity applications that you can get I like to use the term a la carte, or you can bundle these things up. You can have a hybrid solution where you can still continue to work with Gmail or an Exchange server, but still have some of these hosted applications. You can go all out. I don't know if there is any type of bundle deals if you got multiple services all at once. That would be something you'd want to talk to the folks at Zoho about. But I have used their things before. I think their productivity or their business applications, the writer, the presentation program, the spreadsheet's really, really good for a web-based application, and I think it's something that the other guys should aspire to. Now, as far as issues with formatting and importing Word documents and that kind of thing, ran into a few minor bugs here and there, especially with Word documents with a lot of heavy formatting, but all in all, it was a decent experience. But you also get a lot more power, and generally speaking, most people will create their documents in the cloud rather than locally anyway. So, all things considered, does it provide all the features that Google Apps does for the same price? No, it does not. Does it offer more at a reasonable price? Yes, it does. And can you work with both? Yes, you can. Do they have free stuff? Yes, they do. Do you have to use a credit card up front to try it out? No, you don't. Now, I wanted to find some things here, yes, and I wanted to bring this up as well. I went to the Google Apps Marketplace, and I look at the reviews, folks. This is the first thing I do as I go looking at reviews. Some are in a different language. You're going to find ratings like on Zoho CRM all over the map. You're going to see 5 stars. You're going to see 2 and 1 stars. And I think some of these people were upset because the free version didn't allow them to do things like the automated workflows and that kind of thing. And, you know, people saying, look, that's free. You know, you can't expect everything for free.
I don't think that's fair to rate an application 1 star because you asked it to do something that it clearly stated in the free version that it was not going to do.
Right. I think, and there's also people that do complain about the integration with Google Apps and Zoho CRM. Here's a comment called Integration Nightmare. It says this might be a good program. If you're starting from scratch, they had 2,500 records in Google Contacts. When we signed up, we were promised we would have phone support to set up our CRM, create custom fields, and sync with Google Contacts. I literally spent hours on the phone with support in India, and I have received conflicting advice numerous times and on and on. Was not happy about that. Understand this is a Indian-based company. They do have a couple U.S. offices. Support is important. Keep that in mind. There's some people not happy with Zoho's support. Other people are very, very pleased with it. Some people say it's terrible, stay away. But look, you take these things. Number one, I want to bring this point up too. And you stop me if I'm wrong on here, Jack, but generally people do not go onto a website and give kudos to a company for a job well done. More times than not, isn't it people that's angry are the ones that will go to forums and complain?
That's been my experience. If you look, I'm very fond of reading the reviews on places like Newegg, and that's what I see most of the time. Very rarely do your satisfaction. Now you'll see them every once in a while. You'll see a 5-star review, but most of the time it's the people who feel like they have something to complain about that are the most vocal. And you see the same thing on Twitter.
Well, sure, because I don't know how many times on the old Mac versus PC debate when people go, well, if Macs were so good, how come there's all these complaints on their support forum? Just look at their support forum. Look at all the problems they're having. Yeah, and vice versa on the Windows forums. And look, okay, that's because happy, satisfied people don't bother to complain on forums, and they don't take the time to say, hey, my new Mac is working great. I'm really happy with it. Or my new Windows PC is awesome. They don't do that. It's normally the people that's got a problem that does that.
Yep.
Okay, so the bottom line is, I just thought it would be good in this episode to talk about Zoho. There's a lot. I mean, you could spend days researching everything about Zoho, but take it from somebody that's used it. When I did, it was a pleasant experience, not bad at all. And it had certain functionality at the time. I would probably be a registered Zoho user today. Still may look at it in the future, I don't know, but it is something I recommend for small businesses out there everywhere. To at least, if none of these, you're going to find an application here that you can probably use. You probably are. And I'm not being, and this is something else. I'm going to respond to a comment I got a while ago saying that they believe that, we're mentioning products and companies and we're being paid for that. No, I'm not. I don't receive one nickel in compensation from any of these companies. I'll tell you, this is what I believe in, and I think it's good. If I think it's crap, I'll tell you it's crap in my opinion. I don't get a nickel in compensation, free stuff, nothing. I'm just here to share this information with you and try to save you some money, help you grow your business in the most frugal way possible. And being frugal doesn't always mean buying the cheapest thing out there. It means getting the most value for your money. So I'm going to recommend that you look at Zoho and the various products they have to offer. Jack, on that note, I think I've pretty much done all the damage that I can. You got anything you want to add?
No. Like I said, when it comes down to it, I say try it out. You got nothing to lose, no risk. Try it out. If it's not for you, then it's not. And if it is, great. You found a good alternative to Google and Microsoft products. So, like I said, no risk. Try it out.
Well, there you go.
Like you said, we don't get paid for any of this. So
no, we don't.
There's a company or there's a product on here that we're endorsing. It's because, with the exception of GFI, if there's a product on here that we're endorsing, it's because we actually use it, we believe in it, or it seems like a pretty good product for the money.
Exactly. I also want to let folks know that there will not be an episode next week. We have Good Friday and Easter Sunday. Unbelievable. But we'll be back the week after with another edition of Business Computing Weekly. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out our program. I got to tell you, the likes, shares, plus ones of our videos, that's real important. Let us know that you like what we do, what you want to hear, and we appreciate your comments. Tell Jack and me what you want us to talk about on the show. Sometimes we sit and wonder, well, okay, what are we going to talk about, this week? Tell us, because we want to hear from you, right, Jack? We want to know what's on your mind.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, I don't know if my contact information is out there, but if anyone wants to contact me, they can send me a message on YouTube. It's Dragon Ball Jiu-Jitsu on YouTube, or they can contact me through Twitter. My Twitter is McLean's Computer. So if anyone wants to get in contact with me and ask me a question or recommend something for the show, just get in contact with me either on Twitter or through YouTube.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. Remember, if it's in your shop, not making you money or saving you money, get it out of there. Bruce Naylor, have a great week. Have a profitable and safe week out there. Talk to you later. Bye.